the bottom, ain't no problems, we gon' make a way. Got no coach on the field, but we making plays. Hey, look, don't worry, we gon' be okay. Hey, look, why? Cause we gon' make them pay.
What's going down, gamblers? It's the coach representing Brothas N Bets, and we are back. Hope everyone's having a good one. As you can see, I'm in my coach's mode. You know, we had camp this past week. We got camp next week, and then we go right into 2 days. But I'm joined by 2 of the guys, the brothers with the most. First off, my partner in crime. Let me get you introduced to the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Marley Bets. Marley.
What's going down? What's good? What's good, man? It feels. Yeah. You know, I'm on my shit right now. You know. Cam shit, nigga. What's up, nigga? We in this bitch. You know what I'm saying? New year, new show. You know what I'm saying? Doing shit the right way. I'm ready to go. And we talking about mini NFL today? Yeah. I'm back.
Mini NFL.
Let's go.
And we joined by.
I'm ready, dog. I'm ready. We gonna get paid this college. I promise you.
Okay. And we also got a special guest, but he's not really a special guest because he's here all the time helping us out, contributing. And we got a mutual respect for both platforms. But we here with the CEO of Team Bangin Sports Talk, Mr. DJ Big Boss from the West Coast. Big Boss, what's going down?
Hey, you already know what up, though. Who banging in the house? DJ Big Boss with Brothas N Bets. You already know what goes down when we connect, man. Nothing but good time, good fun, and cashing bets. That's what's up, though.
Yes, sir. We got to get Doc on the show. I don't think we've ever had Doc on the show. We got to get Doc on the show this season. For sure.
Doc Sorrell, man, you know, that's my partner in crime on the Saturdays, too. But, you know, Doc go to bed early. Doc a little older than us. You know, he go to bed early.
I'm going to catch him in one of the afternoon sessions. I'm going to catch Doc. I'm going to get him on.
That's what's up.
Let's talk what we here to talk about.
Well, to kick off the new season.
Yeah.
But to kick off the new season, let's go ahead and give a toast to the new season.
Hold on.
To the new
Before
conference.
We toast,
all right.
One time for that boy Tease.
Oh, yes. R.I.P. my boy Tease, man.
R.I.P. that boy Parlay Tease. Here.
Don't worry, he watching. Guarantee you he watching.
I mean, hey, I have to start back doing my this season my my parlay. What we used to call it though, I can't remember right now. My mind going blank.
Ooh, yo, my mind worse than yours.
Coach, what's the shit called that we used to do the little segment with
$2 come up on
$2, $5 come up. The $5 come up. Bringing that back in honor of Parlay Tees. It's gonna be the 3-4 peak every day that we gonna do. $5 come up, man.
Well, man, let me just get this disclaimer out right now. Just recently moved, so my internet connection might not be the perfect. So if anything goes down, you already know the partner in crime, Marley Bets. He's gonna hold it down while I get my stuff connected. Should have my things together a little bit closer towards football season. Fingers crossed. But man, let's go ahead and get the plug in for the show since we're talking about future shows. You guys can check us out on our NCAA football show Wednesdays, 8:30 Central Time, 8:30 Color People Time. We do coach, so be mindful of that. You know, things happen, life happens, as Big Boss was talking about earlier in the backstage. You know, life is life and it happens, man. But you can catch us here, and we might actually be combining both shows this year, the NFL and the college football show, and rocking out with that. So be sure to tune in, be sure to hit the like, subscribe, follow, man. And let's kind of jump into what we had to talk about.
Mini NFL.
Mini NFL.
Yeah, mini NFL.
The SEC conference. So we actually starting off with the SEC conference first. Now I'm not sure, man. I think I'm not sure what's going on with all of our live right now because I don't think we are live right now on our Jeezys.
I see checks. Our Twitter isn't live. Our Facebook's it's a check on it, and it's a check on our YouTube, and it looks like there's a check on Instagram. But you know, we've been gone for a little while, so it might take some time to come back on.
Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it.
Yeah, Instagram's a little tricky.
It has an exclamation point for the Twitter.
Yeah, I see the Facebook is twerking and
YouTube. I'm looking at it on YouTube.
Oh yeah, YouTube is jumping. Okay. All right, YouTube is jumping too. So let's go ahead and jump into it. We talking about the SEC, man. Let's before we get into it, let's talk about last year, how the SEC fared off. We had a lot of predictions. I wasn't able to go and pick up those predictions, but I can't tell you my dark horse last year was Tennessee. I don't know if that was my dark horse, but that was one of the more teams I thought was going to have something to do, and they just fell off.
How you gonna say that's my dark horse? It did say I don't know if it was my dark horse.
I don't know. I'm just thinking like, yo,
that was a long time ago, man. Shoot, that was a long time ago.
Matter of fact, that was 2 years ago. I'm tripping. That was 2 years ago.
We didn't do it last year. We fell off.
Yeah. So we'll scratch that topic, man. Let's just go ahead and talk about the review. And we start off with the champs. The Alabama Crimson Tide took care of business with Jalen Milroe, the H-Town product out of Katy. They tried to do my boy.
H-Town.
They tried to do him, man. So and he ended up coming back in. He didn't say nothing. He didn't transfer out. He stayed calm. Like, all right, they look tripping. They look tripping right now. Just go ahead, coach. Let's see what you got. Let's see what he got. And Buddy backup went in and didn't do so well, and now he led them to the championship. And you could say a player or two away from being in the national championship again, you know what I'm saying? But they did fall to the champs in a very exciting game, Michigan Wolverines, out there in the West Coast, huh? That was in the Rose Bowl. So what are your thoughts on the review with Alabama beating? I don't know, you can't call it an upset over UGA, but UGA was some dogs. But Alabama SEC champs, what are your thoughts, man?
I'll take it away, man. Alabama, Saban must have knew what he was gonna do, and he waited and took a shot at it. He missed, and then he exited the building. So, shout out to Alabama for turning things around in their season. You know, they had a rough start and figured it out towards the end. Walked away as the SEC conference champs, and like you said, fell short for the national champs. But the conversation in that game was more about Georgia, I believe, than Alabama. I knew Alabama could pull through, but I wasn't expecting Georgia to fail like that. But come to find out, Georgia got a lot of little nooks and crannies in there that's getting rusty, and we might be looking at the downhill slope for Georgia.
Of UGA?
Yeah.
Nah.
Yes, buddy. Yes, buddy. Well, they didn't three-peat. They didn't win the championship already. That's strike one.
Damn, they didn't three-peat. That's what we saying now.
Yeah, but what happens after you don't three-peat? What happens after you don't three-peat?
Dynasty.
Let me take it away. I'm gonna. You know what? We'll get to Georgia. So go ahead and finish. We'll get to Georgia. I don't want to interrupt. Go ahead.
But what's your thoughts on Marley? What's your thoughts on Alabama last year, man?
Thoughts on Alabama last year. So I think they. I agree with you. I still don't think Jalen Milroe is getting the respect that he deserved. I mean, I think he had a phenomenal season last year. Over almost 3,000 yards. He took 2,834 yards, 28 touchdowns, only 6 picks. QBR was 80.5. I mean, for all the talk that was thrown his way, I feel like that was a great performance through the season for a freshman. It was his first year starting, so I think he's only going to get better. I don't want to get into the coaching change and stuff quite yet. We will focus on last year, and I think they, like you said, they lost to the national champions, the eventual national champions in a tight ball game. And we know they're not devoid of talent. I do have concerns as far as they had a lot of people leave in the transfer portal after Nick Saban left. So that will be a concern going forward. But I still think they're a top 10 team. I think they're ranked 7th. Top 10 team. Definitely will be in the playoffs. Definitely have a chance to win, to repeat as SEC champions. Obviously, you got the quarterback coming back. You got 3 of the best interior offensive linemen in college football starting for you. So I think it will still be a good year. Now, good by Alabama standards, I don't know if it's going to be an Alabama year, dominant from start to finish, ultimately wound up in the national championship. So it might be a disappointing year for Alabama, but I believe in the coach. We'll get to that later. I believe in the talent because they're still one of the top. We'll say 7. I want to say top 5, but we'll say 7 rosters with talent, top to bottom, 5-star recruits at every position, obviously. So I think they're still in good shape. Obviously, they were the champs last year. I don't think they were the best team ultimately last year. I think Georgia was the best team, but it's football, man. Sometimes the best team doesn't always win. That's why they say any given Sunday. Technically, it's Saturday because it's college football, but that's why we love football, the parity. Sometimes Goliath doesn't win, you know what I mean? And that's on college and NFL. So I still think they had a great year. One game short of the national championship, won the SEC, and I think they're about on path to do the exact same thing. Get into the playoff, go deep, possibly get to the national championship. I don't have them there, but I think they definitely have just as good a chance as anybody else, probably outside of UGA, but we'll talk about that later. And that's what I think.
All right. And now let's talk about the runners-ups, the guys that could have easily laid down after finding out they got snubbed out of the playoffs. And they put a stomping on my Florida State Seminoles 63-3. Yeah. The UGA Bulldogs, the number 1 team in the nation this year. Like Marley said, my saying, they got first-round picks on every level of each side of the ball. You know what I'm saying? So UGA, Big Boss, you took it off first. Let's go right back to you. What are your thoughts on the runner-ups, the Bulldogs?
Yeah, man, like I said, I feel UGA is on a down slope, fellas. Even though my man Smarts over there, he stacked them deep. And I said a few years ago, we was going to tell the tale of him on how well he did the year after he got rid of all of those NFL stars after the first championship. And he came back stocked, depth, everything. He does it again the following year, and he's back this year with a stock everything. And he even brought your boy Trevor Etienne over, and that's phenomenal. And last year he had one of the best. I can't think of his name, but he was a transfer wide receiver, and that worked out. So from the transfer portal point of view, I'm only seeing success with the transfer portal when the player goes from a top team to another top team, or when a player goes from, one team to another team where he's already been coached by the same coaches that's over there. If it's a coaching move, it's worked out well. If it's top team, the top team has worked out well. But I mean, you was talking about any given Sunday and all that. I love the NFL. I love all that. But I'm talking college, right? You talk about 18, 19, 21, 22 years old. Y'all coach. You already know. It sometimes it has nothing to do with the play on the field. It could be the mentality, the mindset. In college, it could be somebody broke up with their girlfriend, all kinds of crazy stuff right there.
All kind of young, emotional kids stuff. Go ahead.
Exactly. And the underlying piece that I caught, just scrabbling up information is they're having a lot of trouble up there in Georgia, man. Them kids is getting DUIs. They doing everything is behind a vehicle. 2 years ago, right after the national championship, player gets hit in the car with a coach and dies, both of them, right? So a lot is going on, and that's a part of coaching, manning your troops, making sure these kids get to bed on time and stay focused becomes a thing. And then when you're in that winning spirit, it slips away from you because they don't care as long as we get the next win, But when you fall short against Alabama, can you pick it back up and still win the national championship? But those type of things is playing in at this point in Georgia. I don't see it turning around. It's just the nature of the sport. Even though my man Saban, and we probably never have another Saban, he can win 2 in a row, take a year off or 2, and come back and win 2 in a row, 1 here, 1 there, whatever. But I don't think Kirby Smart is the guy for that. I think Kirby Smart, he's gonna start thinking about his own his own future. Like, is he going to move over to the NFL? Like, what is he going to do? You know, these we got coordinators making $2.5 million a year. So, you know, with all that being said, I don't know how strong Georgia's going to be able to stand up. And they like to play teams close. They don't like to exert themselves as they're winning these small schools and everything during the season. So that sometimes leaves spots to slip up. So I'm not as high on Georgia. I respect them 1,000%. Would they say they're the 33rd NFL team or something like that? But I respect them, but I don't know. You know, everything has its time and place, and we might be out of the time and place on Georgia.
Okay. Marley, you got any thoughts on Georgia from last year leading up to this year?
Yeah. I think they're ranked number 1, if I'm not mistaken, for a reason. They are the cream of the crop, and to steal your slogan, I'm gonna give you all the credit in the world for it. NFL draft picks on every level. Now we talking about a loss in the SEC championship that derailed a national championship. So I wrote in my notes, I put in quotations. I mean, I put stars next to these 2 words, revenge tour. And it's not necessarily for a certain team, it's for the season. Like, they know they can't slip up. They know one loss can hurt them. They know a loss in the SEC championship can hurt them. Although we know we move into 12-team playoffs, so it's not like they're going to miss the playoffs, right? But I don't think that matters to them. I think their goal is to win the SEC championship. I think their goal is to win the national championship. And I think they're going to definitely do one of the two with a great opportunity to win the national championship. You're returning Carson Beck, the quarterback, obviously, and the supporting cast is phenomenal because it's Georgia, like we said. NFL recruits at every level. Boss already brought up Trevor Etienne at the running back spot. I think that's a huge pickup. Even if you don't get Trevor Etienne, it's not like you don't have another 5-star recruit running back right next up in line. You got the returning senior quarterback. So, I mean, and there's talent. Like, that's what I wrote down here. 4 returning starters on the O-line. Possibly Mikael Williams, possibly the most talented guy in the front 7. He's moving from like DN to like a rush outside linebacker. I mean, this team is loaded. I disagree with the Kirby Smart analysis, though. I mean, I don't disagree as far as I think he's a good coach. I don't think he has NFL aspirations. And we got to remember, he came from the Nick Saban tree, right? He's a Nick Saban disciple. I think Georgia is Alabama of old. I think Georgia is the new Bama. So they won 2 straight. It's hard to three-peat. Let's be honest. I don't think Saban ever three-peated, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. Somebody might want to check me on that. But Georgia right now, I don't know if their run will be as long as Alabama's run. Nick Saban had a hell of a run. I mean, he's probably going to go down as one of the best, as of right now, the best, top 3 best college coaches ever in college football right now. So, I mean, that's definitely going to be hard to duplicate. But Georgia is the number 1 destination if you're a top college recruit, maybe with the exception of quarterback. I don't think because they don't like open it up and throw it, slang it all over the place. But, I mean, there's 5-star recruits literally at every position. Your backup is a fucking 5-star recruit. So let's just be honest. The SEC, I'll give the Big Ten its just due, especially with some of the improvements. I like that conference. But, I mean, top to bottom, at least I won't even say top to bottom no more, right? We'll just say the top half. The top half of the SEC is fucking dominant. And they are the most fucking dominant team in the conference. So, therefore, in my opinion, they're the best team in college football with a good fucking coach. I'm all over Georgia. I love everything they do, and I'm going to ride with this team a lot throughout the season. Their schedule isn't the best. They do have to play at Texas and at Alabama. So those will be, tough games. I think they got another road game against a top 10 team, if I'm not mistaken. But definitely at Texas and at Alabama will be tough ass games. I don't know where they play LSU. I do have the schedule up if you want to give me 2 seconds. I'm looking at it right now. They're at Bama, at Texas, at Ole Miss, and boys, don't sleep on Ole Miss this year. They don't play. Who did I say earlier? The third team was Texas, Alabama. I'm not sure, but they go at Texas and at Alabama. Those are 2 games I would circle as potential losses. At Kentucky, I like Kentucky a little bit this year, but they're not on Georgia's level. Now you get Tennessee at home, you get Auburn at home, and you get Florida at home, Tennessee at home. So, at Bama and at Texas will be the games that we need to watch, and particularly at Texas. That's gonna be a fucking game.
Wow.
I'm riding with the Bulldogs, man. I like what I'm seeing in the upcoming future.
I know you got a piece to say in here, Coach, but me and Marley, we got this little thing. I'm over here itching because
go ahead. Now you good.
We're gonna look past Dabo Swinney in game number 1 against Clemson.
Clemson, yeah. Clemson,
we're gonna look right past Dabo. You're gonna look right past Dabo Swinney.
I'm gonna tell you why. I think Clemson is actually on the downfall. The way you think probably Georgia is on their downfall. Dabo Swinney, first of all, he's too goddamn occupied with worrying about the playoff and the extra this and the old ways, and he wants to do stuff how they used to do stuff. Bro, it's 2024. One, these kids ain't trying to hear that shit you talking about. He don't want kids to get NIL deals. He's super religious in a time where I don't want to get into this topic necessarily, but more Americans are less religious than they were 20 years ago, 30 years ago. These kids are getting NIL deals. It's just a new era. That's why Nick Saban actually left. It wasn't because he was losing or tired of winning. It was because he couldn't deal with the NIL and the transfer portal. It's just too much for him. And Dabo is falling right into that shit. And if you notice, when last time Dabo Swinney been really relevant? I mean, Clemson's been good. Don't get me wrong. But when have they been since Lawrence, which I know was still recent, 3 years ago, though, but ever since Trevor Lawrence left, they haven't really been in the mix, to be honest with you.
I feel what you're saying, but are they just to be taken lightly? This is the first game of the season. Preparation, everything can go wrong in game number 1.
They're not ready for Georgia.
You're
they don't have the talent.
Georgia likes to play with teams, keep it all close. It's not like they're just running the scoreboard up on people. You play a
Georgia will
coach.
blow teams out this year. Revenge tour. They're not going to take.
I already got my bet in. What's
the line? What's the line?
Clemson plus 13.5.
Oh, well, 13. Can Clemson cover the 13? Yes, they can cover. Will they win the game? Will they win the game? Hey, I'm not going to lie to you. That 13 might be close, though.
I give them 7. I give them 7 to 10. I give them 7 to 10. They won't make it to the 13 mark. They don't even try to beat teams like that. What would be the point for them to open up and give up all their information on the first game?
I mean, they're the second best team in their conference. If you want to be honest.
True, but they're getting back 9 on offense. They're getting back 9 on offense with what's his name, Klubnik, who's molding into something new.
Klubnik. I like Klubnik or Klubnik, however you pronounce it.
Who says that they can't put together one good game against Georgia?
I kind of like Shipley a little bit, but
Shipley's nice.
I don't know how this might sound coming out to America, but I mean, white boy running backs don't really do it for me. I don't want to sound the kind of way. Don't get me wrong. But when was the great white boy running back? I love McCaffrey, but McCaffrey is different. I mean, that guy is special. His dad was in
He's from the Bay. He's from the Bay. That's why.
And his dad was in the league, so he knew what it takes.
His whole bloodline.
So, I mean, and like no knock on Shipley. Like I said, I like Shipley. I mean, he's a good running back. Don't get me wrong. But when we're talking about Georgia, we're talking about NFL caliber players. So is Shipley a NFL caliber running back?
So Clemson don't got no NFL caliber players. That's what we say.
They don't got as many as Georgia has.
But they got them though, right? They got them. I mean,
let's say they got 3. Georgia has like 20.
But they still practice against them 3. I mean, sometimes the game comes down to a couple plays. All it takes is the 3 on them.
Nah, you're right. That if there's any game that they should just get caught off guard, it's always the first game with the amount of preparation you had. But
thank you, Coach.
And I go back.
Thank you, Coach.
Clemson. Hey, Clemson. First off, Georgia might cover that. I kind of like Georgia.
I know. I think it's definitely possible.
And I'm gonna tell you why. Clemson just got too many of them on the field right now in skill positions, and it ain't gonna work, dog. I'm sorry. He got too many. He got too many.
Honestly,
I see y'all that Wednesday.
And so here's
week number 2.
So here's my thoughts. Here's my thoughts on Georgia. Like Marley said, we talked about this last
I got a question. Hold on, Coach. Where is that game at? Is it a neutral site game?
It's gonna be a neutral site. It's a neutral site game.
Yeah, neutral site.
That game is like with the Silverdome in Atlanta. You know what I mean? That's practically a home game for Georgia.
It is in Atlanta. It's a neutral site in Atlanta. It is
Mercedes, whatever the stadium is.
Yeah. It's
Mercedes-Benz Stadium. My thoughts on them is exactly what Marley said. I think they on a revenge tour. I think they gonna just stomp everybody. To be honest with you, that's how I'm feeling about UGA this year. They definitely got the quality of players. Kirby Smart is going to lock in, and I don't think it's a revenge tour on just like losing to Alabama. I think it's more so on the playoff college football playoff committee and the media for just really just leaving them out of the conversation from last year's playoffs. So UGA, I think they can just about to be locked in from day one. Clemson, I don't think Clemson. I really do like Alabama. Not Alabama, excuse me. I like Georgia in that game. I might take them points. That's very doable for them.
Okay,
that's
because I'm just.
You think Dabo gonna walk away taking a 20-point beating?
Yeah, I think he can. Clemson ain't got the athletes. He always three things that separated 4. I'll give you 4 things about Clemson that separated their teams from everybody else when they were winning. Quarterback play. They got one. He's not a Deshaun Watson, Trevor Lawrence, but they got him a good one. Receiving core. They always had a great receiving core. They don't have a great receiver. I can't really name one receiver off the top of my head without really doing my research right now. Defensive line. They do got some guys on defensive line this year, but they've always had defensive line and cornerback play, which they do have some great DBs this year as well. But you can play great defense, man, you got to score that ball too. And you know, Dabo's an offensive coordinator, you know, by heart, so he can dial some stuff up. But UGA, I just think they just on some gangster shit this year.
Let me give it.
I think they might stay number 1 throughout the entire thing, unless they just get shot because of going through the conference, and then the 2 extra playoff games. Legs might be shot later on down the road, but
can't be giving an excuse to them now. Don't put an excuse on their ass now.
I'm saying they're gonna win.
Wait, and let's think about this though. Let's examine this. You talking about a revenge factor? 95% of these kids nowadays don't got nothing in their nuts to come back and do no revenge factor. If it ain't about money, they out of there.
Hey, but it's a lot of cats who was about their money that played in the last game against Florida State. Was like, man, we gonna carry this shit over. If it become about money, I say they're gonna do their thing. And let me disclaim this too. I'm not a great Clemson fan. I could give a no. You just being subjective. Yeah,
I can give a shit about Clemson.
Out
of respect to coaching, out of respect to programs that thrive and all that, I just don't see
and situations Clemson
putting up and situation, right? I don't see them putting up a poor product on the field. If you're gonna beat them by 13.5, technically you gotta beat them by a dub, right? I don't think Dabo's gonna take a dub beating. He gonna play chess. He know he the
I
master.
don't know if he got a choice in the matter though.
I
When
think
you slow that rock down, and play a good game.
I'm thinking 32-14.
Oh wow,
that's close.
32-14.
I take that. I'll take that as a loss. I'll take 32-14.
That come from a great special teams play and for sure a defensive touchdown on top of the offense.
Yeah, I just can't handle 42-6 or I can't handle that. But I can handle 32-14. I'm with that.
Well, it's game one. It's game one, and you don't, you know what I'm saying, preparation, man. You know what I'm saying, the jitters. But it is going to be a home game for UGA, the Bulldogs. So, hey, man, we appreciate everybody tuning in. I'm the coach. That's Marley Bets. We are Brothas N Bets, and we're joined by Bangin Sports Talk CEO, Mr. Big Boss. Be sure to tune in Wednesdays as we cover the college football conferences for the next couple of weeks, and then we will start with week 0 with our betting. The big game for week 0 right now is my Florida State Seminoles going against the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. That game is at a neutral site. I want to say that's overseas in Dublin. Is that the Dublin game?
Yeah.
College is tripping with
Not
that.
sure.
Like, I understand the
Georgia
NFL
Tech
doing
go
it,
to Dublin.
but college is tripping. Like,
for what?
Yeah, for what? Like, what are y'all doing?
For what? But I mean, come on. On
they got money.
On the whole nother part of life, you know, and the whole nother part of things, global business is where they're trying to take everything.
Yeah, it's money.
Right.
I mean, I like it for
as
far as like I like that the kids get to lead some of these kids might not ever get to lead the country. You know, it's definitely
going back to Ireland.
It's definitely a great experience for that aspect, but
they definitely ain't doing it for the kids.
I know they're not doing it for the kids for sure. Yeah. We know that.
They ain't doing that for the kids.
We know that.
Hey,
we
know
that.
But what I like about it though, longevity wise, is now it's bringing more awareness to the sport in other countries to where you will legitimately have a great Olympic Games for football. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what product we got out there right now that's taking on representing Team USA from us right now. But I'm like, dude, I know some dogs in semi-pro right now that'll come out there and represent better than with whatever this Team USA got right now. But anywho, that's a whole different topic. But yeah, that's the reason for that, man. The more exposure, the more eyes, the more money. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely
that's what it's all about.
All
right, man, let's kind of jump into it. We don't have that much to talk about in this conference as far as coaching changes, but we do have one major one. I'm going to kind of go through these changes real quick, and then we can open the floor and discuss that. Coaching changes in the SEC. First and foremost, the old ball coach, Nick Saban, has retired, replacing him as former Washington Huskies head coach, Kalen DeBoer. Did I say it right? DeBoer. He is the new head coach after leading an undefeated Washington team to the national championships, falling short, though, to the Michigan Wolverines. Mississippi State has a new coach in honor of late head coach Mike Leach's death. Jeff Labby is the new head coach for them. He's the third head coach in the last 3 years for the program.
That's really crazy.
Mike Elko is now the new head coach at Texas A&M. He's replacing Jimbo Fisher, who was fired after a $76 million buyout. That's how much money them boys got up there in that Brenner, man. You know what I'm saying? In College Station. He's coming in from Duke in 2021 as he turned that program around from 3-9 to 9-4 the following seasons. And the new coaches that we got in the conference, my boy Steve Sarkisian over there at UT with the Longhorns, and we got the one of the greatest defensive coordinators and Marley's nemesis, Brent Venables, head coach from Oklahoma. So we welcome in 2 new programs, which means we got 2 new coaches going in the SEC. So both of them aren't used to week in and week out going against top quality talent as far as the programs wise. Of course, we know Sarkisian was the OC in the SEC, so he knows for Alabama, so he knows a little bit about that. But guys, take the floor. Any thoughts on any of the coaches?
Absolutely. I'm gonna let Marley go first so I can get mad.
So I'll start with, first of all, Venables is not my fucking.
That boy hated Venables.
No, I didn't hate Venables. I just didn't understand. Like, I just felt like it necessarily wasn't him more than it was the players that he had. And as of today, I feel justified because it's not like Oklahoma defense has. It's not like we're looking at Oklahoma and now we're like, oh,
it's 1 year, dog. It's 1 year.
Agreed. Completely agreed. Hey, the jury is still out, as they say. That's one.
But you said justified. Like case closed, justified.
No. Like, I'm not hating on them. I just like, we'll see. I don't think Clemson's defense was all that good. During his time there, he had a couple good seasons. Anyway,
and you taking us back to Clemson, I was trying to get past that.
Yeah, here nor there. That's because he brought up Venables.
Ooh, that touched you close. You know what bones to tickle right there on him. He couldn't.
I just didn't. No. He said it was a thing, and it's not a thing. I just don't have the high praise that everybody has. Anyway, if we go talk about Sark, I don't think that's new, but they're new to the SEC. Texas will be fine. I wasn't high on Stark, but I mean, he's turning the program around. Give credit where credit is due. I think they'll be one of the better teams in the SEC just because they're in fucking Texas. Where I mean, if you're not recruiting in Texas for football, what are you doing? So
I done got myself into.
So I mean, we are the number one state for football with California and Florida, right in the mix too. I'm not gonna deny that, but we know what it is.
Cali boys think they run football because they got two little high schools out there that openly recruit kids, so they think they run football around.
They got two. They have two such high schools.
It ain't two. It's about 25 high schools that.
So if you go look down we can have this. Do you want to have this debate about who's better in football? If you really want to have this debate,
I mean, we used to play this up. It used to be an all-star
movies about high school football. We shut down cities for high school football.
That's because y'all ain't got shit to do.
That's insane. That's wild.
We too busy gangbang. We're the number one state with.
Why don't you think
we're the number one state with returns? You send them out from Cali, they come right back because we fucked up. You put us out there where it ain't no weed, it ain't no this. You're gonna put a 19-year-old out there with his cousin calling them, sending them shit.
Because
we fucked up.
Football is what the fuck we do. It's like,
hey, no, it's because y'all kids
religion. See, y'all got things above football.
My daddy gonna beat my ass.
Like, y'all got things above football. Like, y'all got, like you said, it's more to do. Y'all niggas go to the beach. Y'all got the weed. Hey, y'all got celebrities.
Snoop Dogg's son stopped playing college football to be a model.
Exactly. Got Hollywood. We ain't got Hollywood. You know what we doing?
How's that working out for him?
How's that working out? His daddy rich. If it wasn't working out, would they tell us? They tell us he's not working out. No, every time it's gonna look great.
You know what we got to do down here? Play football. That's what we doing.
Exactly.
My kids play fucking football damn near year round. 7-on-7. My son is 9 and he can tell you how to run a cover 3. he can tell you how to run a 5-4, and he can tell you how to run a 6-3.
Hey, we got all that good stuff in Cali too. We just don't play football all year round. We kind of play all sports.
That's why y'all number 2. It's okay. Nothing wrong with number 2.
Hey, we'll take all the quarterbacks. We'll take the quarterbacks, few wide receivers, the linebackers, a defensive lineman here and there. Okay, that's
the quarterbacks.
We ain't tripping.
The quarterbacks.
Rookie of the year, all of them. Not only do they come out of Cali, but they come out of shit like Compton.
What Patrick? Hey, coach, who the best quarterback in the NFL?
Texas boy.
Texas.
But I gotta get Cali.
Wait, let's go to his career.
Kelly. I said it too.
Let's go to his career at Texas Tech. He was definitely not the man he is now at Texas Tech. He also got made a big leap. He made a big leap in there under
majority of if you go look at any college roster or NFL roster of the good teams, it's full of Texas kids.
And Cali kids too.
Yeah, we just have more. I'm not denying Cali. Cali is good. It's Texas, Cali, and Florida. It just so happens to be
y'all bigger than us. Y'all bigger. We mostly mountain.
Anyway,
mostly mountain.
Let's stay on topic. Let's stay on it. We on coaching changes. SEC coaching changes.
I'm gonna just focus on the board, man. Right? Because that's
what I want to.
That's the storyline. That's the storyline.
That's the shit, right? And me personally, I'm a fan. You know what I mean? He wins everywhere that he goes. He won at Fresno State. Everybody saw what he did at Washington the last 2 years. I think it's an excellent hire. I don't know if he'll be Nick Saban, right? What they say is hard to replace the guy, right? But as of right now, if I had anybody to replace the guy, I like this guy. I think Jalen Milroy will improve dramatically under him. He's known as a quarterback whisperer. I don't know if Milroy is exactly his type of quarterback, but he's going to have the talent that he's never had before. And his scheme has worked everywhere he's gone. It's going to be a different type of Alabama, right? It's not going to be we're bigger than you and we're just going to run it down your throat anymore. We're going to open it up and we're going to see a different type of Alabama. Now, if they keep the recruits the way they've been getting, I think the defense is still going to be good. However, they play in the fucking SEC. I call it the mini NFL for a reason. So, Bama might have to tamper their expectations for a year or so to let him get his system in. He did bring in a couple players from Washington that's going to know what's going on. But for me, I think this is a great hire. I don't know how the Alabama people feel personally, but his record shows that the man has won literally everywhere he's gone. And if you hire this guy, you're going to win. That's just what his record states. I'm all on board. They got him ranked 7th. I think they'll actually be a lot better than people are giving them credit for. It just depends on how fast Milroy can grasp the offense. Got to understand, Penix only got sacked like 16 times in 2 years. Their offense is getting rid of the ball quick. Quarterback know where to go. Milroy was sacked a ton of times, and a lot of that wasn't on the offensive line. Sometimes he just kind of held the ball too long. So, but as far as the coach, I think it's the best hire out of all the coaches that we've talked about in the SEC. And I'm like I said, I'm all on board.
That was good. You took a lot of stuff right off.
All right, big boss. What's your thoughts?
Took a lot of stuff right off my notes right there, Marley. But
great.
Kellen the board popped out in the Mountain West, which I do the best at Fresno State. I was only men. His scheme was impeccable. He not only did he develop Jake Haener, but he moved to Washington, promised Jake Haener that he was going to come with him and sent him back and develop Penix. Right, and I think that Milroy, that's his name, right? Milroy.
Yeah, Milroy.
Yeah, Jalen Milroy.
Milroy is gonna look like Penix. He's got the same skill set. He can run the ball. He can throw the ball. He's not the greatest. He doesn't have the strongest arm, but he's a little more precise than the average black quarterback, for the lack of words, right? So he's gonna look just like Penix. And this is just a knockdown situation for the board. He walks in, offensive line. Oh, just gotta tighten a couple bolts. It's already right there. Bam. Right. All I got to do is get the wide receivers, running back. I'm going to get more out of the running back than I would get out of my natural running back. I just got to teach them how to run that zone shit because they do a lot of zone blocking out of that run thing. So I teach him how to do the zone. Alabama's more bang, bang, stuff like that. So you got to teach him how to find those holes. You kind of open up a little further down the line. He's going to go in there, teach that little part, right? The wide receivers, he probably bringing in his guys from Washington for that because even though
he got
Alabama
Jeremy
Bernard
is one of the receivers from Washington coming in. Jeremy Bernard.
Yeah, they're gonna know how the routes is ran. They're gonna know about the little timing plays where they throw it and they're not even there yet and they make it there and all that. They're gonna help teach the other guys that part. So the offense is locked up. The only place he's ever lacked was on defense. And the defense is already self-made at Alabama, not only by technique and coaching, but by size as well. So I'm going to take this as a reach, right? And I'm going to call Alabama my dark horse because most people put Texas at number 2. If you want to put Texas at, I respect Georgia. They belong in number 1. Alabama really belongs in number 2. But they put Texas there. And Alabama's number 3, so I get to grab Alabama as one of my dark horse. So give me Alabama as a dark horse to win the national championship and also to win the SEC. I think what he has to offer on offense, it's gonna take Ole Miss. Only Kiffin, could probably try to balance that out, and he never has the greatest defense because he always just gets a gang of transfer players. But he is returning a lot of players this year. You really get to see the works of not only transfer players, but transfer players in their second year. But that's a whole nother topic. But he might have a chance to catch up with Kalen. But it's going to be – I look at Kalen Boyd a little bit like we used to look at Chip Kelly when he was at Oregon, right? He just kind of has some kind of motion going on, some kind of new scheme that everybody wasn't ready for, and he made his way with that for a couple years. Once, people adjust, that shit was shut down and gone. But the misconception – I'm about to get out of here. I'm going to land. The misconception.
Nah, you good. You good.
The misconception with Kalen DeBoer to me is thinking that he's there to be another Saban. He will jump up out of there and go to the NFL first chance he get. He's not there. He's jumped school to school to school. He's not there to make college football money. If he's gonna build a legacy for himself at the point he at, he gets to the NFL and put it to work there fast as he can before everybody can copy, mimic, and figure out his scheme that he's doing. So that's just how I feel about him. I agree 1,000%. Best coach they did all year. Nothing's better than that.
Okay. Hey, we appreciate everybody tuning in. Right now we're doing the SEC breakdown. Right now we got our boy Josh talking about Ohio State about to be different this year. Yes, indeed. And speaking of Ohio State, we'll be covering the Big Ten August 7th with picks by Dave. So be sure to tune in for that. And now let's get on to our next subject since we're talking about a lot of transfers lately. Top transfer portal athletes in the SEC. Some notable transfer students in the SEC per this Reddit post. Number 6 being Brock Vandagriff, the Georgia quarterback that's now going over to Tennessee, which now adding depth to their offense right now. Vandagriff saw only sloppy mop-up duty, going 12 for 21 yards and 165 yards and 2 touchdowns in 3 seasons. Number 5, wide receiver Deion Burks from Purdue to Oklahoma, the first of 2 former Purdue players to make the list. Burks has already shown the ability to produce in highly competitive conference. Number 3, my boy on the college football 25 game, not number 3, excuse me. Number 4, Isaiah Bond from Alabama to Texas. The fact this kid is a preseason all SEC conference. He made the all SEC conference team for the preseason season. This should definitely be a good addition for the Longhorns, especially after losing 2 first-round draft picks, not first round, but 1 first-round draft pick, another second-round draft pick. No, matter of fact, What's the name was first or second round? Worthington, not Worthington. Xavier Worthing, yeah. Was he high second round? I want to say he was first round. He just was the last pick to the Chiefs. Anywho, Isaiah Bond is coming into Texas along with 2 other wide receivers as well. Number 3, edge rusher Nick Scroden from Purdue to Texas A&M, 6'4", 280 pounds, will be a great addition to the defensive line for A&M. Number 2, defensive lineman Walter Nolan. So A&M gets one good defensive lineman in, but they lose one. Going from A&M to Ole Miss, your boy Lane Kiffin, the former number 1 overall recruit in the country. That's actually huge because that boy was a dog. But he's headed over to A&M. And then we have the number 1 UGA, Travis Etienne's little brother, Trevor Etienne, going from Florida to the Bulldogs to run behind that massive offensive line. Yeah, with that being said, top transfer athletes, any thoughts on those, or do you guys want to let it be known some other notable ones?
Yeah, I wanted to add super senior Noel out of App State went over to Missouri. Not to say Missouri's going to win the championship or nothing crazy, but they could upset some people over there with
is that the running back?
The running back from App State. Yeah, he's over there in Missouri. He's a super senior. Some of these people now, because of the COVID year, some of them had to contest to get that extra year, but he got that extra year.
Right.
And he moved over there to Missouri, which I think could be a good look for him, though. I like it.
Yeah.
Maybe it doesn't win a championship, but it may get him, somewhere up in the draft or something. Or it might be a last cry to try to get in the draft at this point. But yeah, that's one to mention. But like I said, in order with the transfer portal, you really got to go do your homework and see who at that organization does this kid connect to, because that's where they're winning. When we seen Utah State coach go from Arkansas State to Utah State, he brought that quarterback that first year, they won the championship. But the following year, when he didn't have that player, it was different. So the only time that I've really seen transfer portal players work is when they got somebody in that organization.
All right, Marley Betts, you got any thoughts on the top transfer athletes?
I think Ole Miss, they did a lot of work in the transfer portal. That's one team to look at. I think you said something about that earlier, or maybe that was Big Boss. Somebody brought up Ole Miss and what they tend to do in the transfer portal.
They already call your boy transfer king, portal king. That's what they call him.
Yeah. They had a lot of work, so I think that'll be something to look at. See how they blend, how they blend in those new players that they got coming in. We talked about Trevor Etienne a little bit earlier, even though he wasn't probably he is one of the bigger names, but not the biggest name that went. But I think as far as need, even though earlier, like I said, they recruited a bunch of 5-star guys, but I think his contributions, what he can do for Georgia is going to be crazy. So I like just the fit. I like the fit with Trevor Etienne there. But yeah, I think Ole Miss will be something to look at in the transfer portal. I think it can determine whether they can finish maybe in a conference championship, depending if everything goes well for that team. If you look out. So
what I was saying earlier about Ole Miss in the transfer portal is, we know that Lane Kiffin's been out every year with 20 plus transfer players every year, like almost starting over a new team each year. Well, this particular year here, he's getting back 10 on offense and 10 on defense, right? So now
plus the 20 transfer kids,
plus this transfer. So that's why you've been hearing a lot about Ole Miss this year, being one of those dark horse type teams, and that's why, because we're going to meet both of those combining together. But I mean, I forget the phrase they say when it's like too much talent in one room. It could end up in one of those situations. But Lane Kiffin, man, he got a great system. He's a good coach, but at the end of the day, sometimes he takes his foot off the gas, or he just plays lackadaisical or something. I don't know. I've even seen as seasoned as he is, I've seen him make like rookie coaching mistakes and shit like that before. So I can't put too many eggs in a basket on Lane Kiffin, even though the adding of those two look good. Let's see what happens. If that's the formula, you're gonna see every team trying to do that for here on out.
All right. Hey man, we appreciate everybody tuning in. I'm the coach, that's Marley Bets, and we are joined by DJ Big Boss from the Bangin Sports Talk. And we're covering the SEC preview for this season. So now let's kind of get into some of these teams, your top 6 teams. We've already covered Alabama. We've already covered Georgia. Now let's kind of open this up for some of these other guys out there. And let's give you thoughts. And after this, our next segment will be the dark horse. But top 6 teams, I guess top 4 outside of Alabama and Georgia. What you got?
You want me to go first?
I'll jump off.
Let's talk Texas. Boss said it earlier. Ranked number 2. If you're not picking Georgia, most people are picking Texas to win the SEC. Me and Coach talked about this yesterday. About the show. You know, Coach kind of doesn't think, or I don't want to put words in Coach. I'll let Coach tell y'all what he thinks. But I personally think they do have a shot to win the SEC. They do have the second best shot to win the SEC behind Georgia. I'll put Bama right up there with them, but let's keep in mind they did go on the road in Bama with Saban and beat Bama. So in that case, I know it's a new year. I got to give the edge to Texas because all we can look at is what happened last year. I think their season is going to be on Ewers. I mean, can Ewers stay healthy at the end of the day? He's hurt. He's been hurt the last 2 seasons. He always misses a couple games. And they always have that one letdown game. I think they were better than OU, obviously.
Right.
Coach know about the Red River rivalry. You know, that fucking game goes either kind of way. It's like a true rivalry. You know, it's our version of fucking Michigan, Ohio State. Like, it's kind of one of those things. Like, you got to be here to know about it. And so if they don't drop that game, and then we know, obviously, we saw what happened with Washington in the national or the game to go to the national championship. The offense is there. They're one of the more talented defensive lines in the country. They lost a little bit at receiver, so we got to see what steps up. But I personally think it's going to be on Quinn Ewers. Can he stay healthy? It's Texas. The rosters are loaded. Stark has brought them back. Got a lot of, the roster is full of Texas kids, shall I say. And regardless if you're in Cali or in Florida, we got to admit that we are the top 3 states of where football is dominant, and where if you're not recruiting in these 3 states, then you're not in the top of your conference or in the national college conference, whatever fucking league's called for football. You know what the fuck I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? Like, we are the 3 states that if you're not recruiting in, then you're losing. So I think Texas will have something to say. Go ahead. I want to pull up their schedule and see.
I just want to give a quick. I want to give a quick breakdown of what they got in other places for the top 8.
Go ahead.
Right. So I'm a loyal subscriber to my Phil Steele magazine. I don't know if y'all can see that, but so Phil Steele, solid source right here, right?
Right.
CC, number 1, he has Georgia. Tied at number 1, which is actually his number 2 spot, is Texas. Then he has Alabama. He has Ole Miss. He has LSU at 5. Missouri at 6. Oklahoma at which should be 7, and Tennessee at 8. Okay. Then I just got this new book. I never it's my first time trying this one. This is
Athlon?
No, this is Pick 6. Pick 6 reviews, right? Pick 6 reviews. They got Georgia at 1, Texas at 2, Ole Miss at 3, Alabama at 4, Tennessee at 5, LSU at 6, Texas A&M at 7, and Missouri at 8.
Oh wow, LSU at 6.
Both of those lists is up until like the 6, 7 spot. It's Georgia is top 1 dominant, but all the rest of it could be either one. I can make a case for Tennessee this year. I can make a case for LSU this year, and I can even make the case for Ole Miss, even though I don't believe some of the cases. But if you look at the facts and the returners, you look at the coaching staffs, you look at what's been going on, these teams all have an opportunity, to end up winning the SEC somehow. So kind of tough, but I mean, I'm gonna go old school like y'all do with the little NFL. You gotta put, I say Georgia and Alabama in. You know what I'm saying? That's 1 and 2 to me. After that, I give them Texas. I'm not believing in Tennessee. I think, Brian Kelly at LSU got the big thing that this is his third year. Third year at Central Michigan, he was undefeated. Third year at Cincinnati, he was undefeated. Third year at Notre Dame, he went 12-0. So this is third year at LSU. Even though he misses a big quarterback, he still has enough talent still around. And the cool part about what I know about Brian Kelly is he learned at Notre Dame he can't coach defense. He know he has to hire the best people in defense. And he went through several different DCs and linebacker coaches and stuff before he got to Marcus Freeman, basically. But he fired the whole defensive staff and brought in some new shit. So if his defense gets right, his offense is almost proven. I'm not really a stats guy, but the numbers on the stats for LSU last year was off of the chain. Right. The damn Heisman candidate quarterback, he had 250 yards on the ground and 300 in the air in one game. That's ridiculous. Yeah. So, I mean, Kelly is a proven offensive guy. So, if he's getting those type of talents, he can do it too. So, and same thing.
I agree.
Oh, at Tennessee. Tennessee just lacking on the defensive side of the ball. The offense, it's already sound. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know.
They just got a young quarterback.
Yeah, everybody's gonna pick and choose. It's college football, so everybody's gonna pick and choose which one you believe or you trust or you don't trust, and it's just gonna come down to that. But with all of them at this point, there's no proven angles or edges to tell you the truth to be betting on. I think most of the money is gonna be made when these teams go play out of conference. And then this is the cold part that I look at it with all this talent, 16 teams in the league, right? I'm like, damn, who's gonna lose these games? Somebody gotta lose, right? Somebody gotta lose. Florida season wins over 4.5. Is Billy Napier and the bounce house that week that they over 4.5 season wins? That's crazy. And then at the same time, how can Georgia, Texas, Ole Miss, and LSU all be 9.5, 10.5 wins? It's just like the Big Ten been going on for years. At some point, they gotta play each other and cancel each other out. And I think that's what we get with the adding all these teams to these different conferences. There's a lot of shit gonna get shot in the foot.
My thoughts, my top five. Probably at number 5, I'm gonna go with LSU right now. New quarterback, new coordinators. Just gotta see. They still gonna have some guys out there. They're still gonna have one or two dogs, losing their best receiver and the Heisman Trophy winner. So we should definitely see how they're not gonna be top 3, for those reasons. But good enough to be top 5 in the conference. My 4th team will be Mizzou. Mizzou has a lot of athletes on the offensive side of the ball. I like their coach. He's actually from under the he's under coming from the Dabo Sweeney tree. Say what?
I'm saying salute that man. I'm hearing you. Drinkowitz, is up there with
Yeah.
That's a lot, man. And I thought I was reading the wrong
They
lines.
got some. They Mizzou got some, and the thing about Mizzou is they hungry right now. All right, they hungry. They taking effect. Did they think in the transfer portal as well? As you mentioned, the running back that's heading over to see. I didn't know that, but I know they got some dogs right now on that at their receiving core for the Mizzou Tigers. As hungry as everybody else right now. I apologize if it's breaking up. My bad if it's breaking up, but they are just as hungry as anybody right now. Number 3, my number 3 team is going to be Alabama. We don't have to jump in too much reasons why, because y'all pretty much covered Alabama earlier, and for all the right reasons. Number 2 would be Texas. Reason I say Texas is, one, Sarkisian is a hell of a coach, a hell of an offensive coordinator. They're hungry as well. He got a lot of athletes right now that came in from the transfer portal to help fill in at their receiver position, and they get all the tough games. The tougher conference games are all at the crib this year. With you going up against like I know the UGA game is there, but that's an L. But you never know. They're gonna be home and at the time. They undefeated at the time, college game is gonna be there. Then the number 1 team, like I said, revenge to UGA, the Georgia Bulldogs, man. They are definitely the number 1 team in my rankings. For all the reasons that we already talked about, Big Dog. Kirby Smart, I think he's on a revenge tour to the college football media right now. So those are my picks. Marley, what you got? Or did you cover when I was out?
Well, I went through mine. I gave my top 3. I didn't get my last 2. I didn't get 4 and 5, and I kind of agree. I put LSU at 5. I put Ole Miss at 4. 3, I got Bama. 2, I got Texas, and 1, I got Georgia. And I listed the reasons, when I was talking earlier.
Hey, can I just for conversation? I respect both you brothers 1,000%. I love Houston. I love Texas. One of my greatest places to go party out and hang. I love y'all. And
here we go.
But let's talk about why are y'all so persistent about this Sarkisian at Texas? Sarkisian is not the greatest coach proven, right?
No, boss. I 100% agree. I am not a Stark fan, and if anybody go back and play our old shit when they got hired, I was probably against. I don't even want to say probably. I was for certain against the hire. You know what I mean?
But let's take a look at his numbers though, right? I'm just looking at the numbers. Sarkisian, 71 and 49 overall. Right.
Look at his Texas numbers though. Not
his Texas numbers. He's 24 and 14 at Texas. That's still not that's not top tier number 2, number 1. You want me to go tell you what Kirby Smart's been doing at Georgia?
No, we know that's why Georgia's number 1. So exactly. I don't want to say it's Georgia and then everybody else, but like the gap between 1 and 2, yeah, it's not. I don't think. If Georgia and Texas line up right now, I'm saying Georgia wins hands down.
Marley, you're talking to a West Coast guy who probably has a liking towards USC that feels that Sarkisian was one of the reasons why that program is in the position that it's in.
Which I think right now, if Texas and Notre Dame lined it up, we destroyed Notre Dame. And I'm not, first of all, foremost, I'm not even a Texas fan like that. I mean, I'm a rep the state, and it's Texas over everything. Don't mess with Texas all day long. It's tatted on my arm.
So listen, man.
Wait till I see your birth certificate, find out you was born in Mississippi.
Oh nah, you don't never see that, big dog. It's Texas all day long.
Let's talk. Let's talk about it. So though, okay, 21-14, but you got to understand from being down here, understanding what the program went through. UT program been in shambles since Mac Brown left. Charlie Strong came in, cleaned it up, got rid of a lot of the cancers, and while it was looking like it was about to be one of those great turnarounds, they got rid of this. His ass was on the hot seat the moment he got fired, especially when he started cutting like all the cancerous players, the personnel out of the program. So then Tom Herman comes in and he gets all the glory from Charlie Strong, cleaning the program up and bringing in some recruits,
Charlie
i.e.
Strong is terrible.
Ellingsworth.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I can't give it to him. Terrible.
Ellingsworth. You can't hear me?
I hear
you.
Say what?
We hear you. Go ahead. Good.
Okay. Because my connection's over here messing up. So, but back to what I was saying. Herman had the success off of Charlie Strong's recruits, and you can say that the same thing about Sarkisian, but the fact that he's an offensive mastermind, of course, you've seen what he can do with talented players, like what he did with Alabama. He led one of his receivers to getting the Heisman Trophy when at a receiver's position, which we ain't seen that in a very long time. So yeah, it's and how he's doing in the recruiting game. The recruiting game is just as important because a lot of our talent have been leaving the state of Texas. You know what I'm saying? So he's been able to keep them in, and if they're messing up, he's bringing them back home. So I'm looking very high on him just for the fact of what he's been doing to the program and bringing in and representing.
All I can say is that's good for Texas, but it's college football. We can't always sing the song or the chant of what's going on or whatever. The game is played on the field. I wish I could sing the chant every year. Notre Dame don't do what they're supposed to do. But let's go back to the numbers. I just wanted to say the numbers because I really don't. It doesn't make me no difference anyway. But okay, he's 0-2 in bowls at Texas. He is 15-4 at home. He's 8-6 away. But he's 6-9 versus top 25 teams. You know what I'm saying? And that's just at Texas. If you look at him overall, he's 27-28 away. He's 17-29 versus top 25. He's just not it. He can put it together, but he's not it.
Again, I agree with you. I've never been, nor am I, a Stark fan. I'm going to piggyback off what Coach said. I think the key is, and for me anyway, what I'm banking on is that the talent that he's going to have. We already saw, even as bad as the numbers say, the offense that he produces can score. And he's going to have the talent on defense. He has one of the best defensive lines in college football, hands down. So if the back end can just hold up, I mean, he's not running the defense. Now, we're not saying, or at least I'm not saying, they're going to win the SEC, right? Georgia.
You got him at number 2, though. But
I do have him at number 2, though. And I said,
get him out of there. Get him out of there.
The reason
they got all the two.
No, hold on, Coach. The reason I said they're number 2 is because I have Bama at number 3, right? So they went on the road last year and beat Bama in Alabama. So there's no way that it's not fair to them because we can't go off this year. We have to go off all we're going off of was last year. So there's no way that I can put Bama in front of Texas when they both lost in the game to go to the national championship, and head-to-head, Texas beat Alabama in Alabama. So, I mean, just by fairness, I have to say, and one more thing, they have the benefit of Stark is still there, Ewers is still there, whereas Alabama is coming off losing Nick Saban, new head coach, new system. Quarterback he's still the same, but he has to learn a new system. Now, am I saying head-to-head, can they do that again? I don't know. But I think head-to-head, if Alabama goes into UT, I don't think they win that game.
I'm going to just tell you this. I made a lot of money off of taking teams who coaches come from Saban's umbrella. And Stark was one of those coaches that came from under there. And in Saban's down years, he took advantage of that and he won. It has nothing to do with him playing Kalen DeBoer and what's coming in. What you're saying, the fact that the quarterback has to learn a new system, all of those things I agree with. But at the same time, it's a quality coach that can get the job done. So
Big Boss.
That's why I would put him over there.
Big Boss.
Again,
I'm
not going to
about,
defend Stark because I'm not a Stark fan.
I just like what he's doing with the program, and I'm a UT fan. Right.
I think
since he's been there, it hasn't been dipping. It's steady going up, and the fact that he's keeping the kids home and trying to bring a national championship to Texas at all costs. You've seen the recruiter. I'm all about that. I'm all for that.
Y'all. Come on,
it's not Stark. It's those Texas kids that's on the roster that's staying home.
Again, I love y'all. Y'all love Texas, and I love y'all.
Don't mess with Texas, baby.
But guess what? They not like us. They not like us. They not like us.
Hey, he from Toronto. They ain't got nothing to do with us.
Yeah, for real.
All right, and a lot of places are not like Texas when it comes to football. For sure, I respect that.
Conference dark horses. Who you got?
Well, I took my sneak already. With Alabama, but I got another one.
Hey, I'm on Ole Miss. Big Boss said it earlier. They're returning 10 on offense. After you said 10 on defense, am I correct?
10 on offense, 10 on defense.
10 on defense. I know Lane Kiffin rubs people the wrong way, personality-wise, and the numbers don't necessarily support what I'm saying. But we're talking about a dark horse. We're not talking about somebody that we expect to win the SEC. So when I think dark horse, I told Coach this earlier. When I think dark horse, I think like if they win the conference, you're going to be like, oh, shit, really? Like, wow, they won the conference. So I like Ole Miss. I think they're returning Jackson Dart. I think that's huge. He's in his third year as a starter. And then you also got what's the receiver's name? Harris. Hold on, I'm gonna get his first name here in a second. Trey Harris and Jackson Dart. They're gonna be one of the best quarterback wide receiver duos in the SEC. And then you got Jared Ivey coming back as an edge rusher on the defense, which we know, Lane Kiffin's defense, it's been less than desired. As Big Boss said, they're not really, the best defensive team. Can do is fucking produce some points. And I think they're going to score a lot of points. The defense will have to step up in spots. And the great thing about the schedule is, guess what? They don't play Alabama. They don't play Texas. So they play Georgia in Georgia. Obviously, I think that's a loss. And they play Georgia at home, which I probably still think that's a loss. But if they can go on the road and take care of LSU, then I think the schedule sets up nice. You're talking about Middle Tennessee, Wake Forest, Georgia Southern, Kentucky at home, on the road against South Carolina. They'll be on the road at LSU. Tough game, but they get the Sooners at home. They get Georgia at home. They have to go on the road to Florida. I don't think Florida's going to be good this year. And then they get Mississippi State at home. So we're looking at a possibly one loss, maybe two loss if they can't take care of business at LSU. Ole Miss team. So they could sneak into the playoffs. I think SEC will get 2 to 3 teams along with the Big Ten in the 12-team playoffs. So I like Ole Miss as a dark horse team because if they can win every game except Georgia, talking about a one-loss Ole Miss team, I think that puts them right in the mix. So if you're a betting man, I take a lot of overs, a lot of team total overs with this team.
and I'll ride that way. I'm definitely gonna ride that Ole Miss wave.
Big Boss, who's your dark horse?
Well, like I said, because they put Texas number 2, then I think Alabama I should be able to run with that as a dark horse. But my man Marley says it's got to be a real sleeper. And I mean, can I get LSU as a sleeper? Because I mean,
I'll take that.
That's on the whole theory of That's on the theory of this is his 3rd year. You know, he had a Heisman quarterback candidate. He fired the defense. On that theory, I'd take LSU as a dark horse.
I think LSU is a legit dark horse, and in most of the cases, they're ranked like the 5th, 6th best team in the conference. So yeah.
After this show today, I really want to take Oklahoma and Brent Venables just to get on your nerves, though.
That's insane because I gotta look at the schedule. But nah, I don't think they're quite ready for this.
Thanks, Coach. You showed me one that'll pinch Marley's nerves.
That's insane. OU.
Hey,
they couldn't even win the Big 12. How the fuck they're gonna win the SEC?
My dark horse, and I told Marley last night, and it is oh wow, they won. It's Texas, dog. It's Texas. Why am I changing everything? And I'm gonna explain why.
Tomato.
And I'm gonna explain why. You see that reaction right there? You see that? And the sequelity that he spewed in the last segment about Sarkisian, that's exactly why they are my dark horse. Because they don't think
so now you want to push my place.
He wins with on the road. His record against top 10 teams. Okay, they're going into a new conference that they're like, okay, you got to play week in and week out in our conference. It ain't like Texas to where you can have 3 cupcakes and then you play one team on the road that's going to be sneaky. All right. My sleeper for this conference is Texas. If they beat Georgia at the crib, they got all the top team, the toughest teams that they got on their schedule are all at the crib. If they beat Georgia and they don't have that little dumb, stupid like game to where they trick later on down the season, we could be looking at the number 1 team in the country, the Texas Longhorns, going into the playoffs. So that's my sleeper, Texas. If you want me to get a real sleeper, Mizzou.
Tomato.
No, I like Mizzou. I like Mizzou. Don't you know what
Texas
you know what that late slip up is for Sarkisian? It's his drinking. He's a slight alcoholic.
I forgot he is an alcoholic.
He has a queen. He has a queen on the side that's gonna keep him from that. You know, the only reason why he started drinking was because of his wife.
Exactly.
Am I right? Oh no.
Hey, it's okay, and now they right. But it's one thing.
I don't know why.
It's one thing you stressed out and you drinking too much. But when you showing up the team meeting and you showing up the practice, that's different. That's a bad.
He was drinking and popping pills, wasn't he?
He was going with.
And SC ain't no telling. Ain't no telling what he had at SC.
I think he was drinking and popping pills, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but
he was wilding, but he was going through a crazy situation with his lady.
The only thing is, though, Texas schedule.
He's happy with his queen right now.
Texas schedule is not bad. They play.
It's just Georgia. That's all they got is Georgia on the road.
That's all they got is Georgia. But that's not a fucking dark horse. They're the 2nd-ranked team in the SEC, top 5 team.
If Texas comes in first, if Texas comes in, wins the SEC, people are going to say, that, wow, they won.
I mean, they're super fucking talented.
They won.
Hey, Missouri. I thought you were gonna say Missouri.
Wow.
I like the Missouri.
You can't lie to me. If they win the conference championship, you're not gonna say, "Wow, they won."
I'm not, because they're like the expectancy, the
First year in the SEC. First year in the SEC.
Most people expect Georgia, Alabama, or Texas to win the SEC. Am I wrong? I'm sorry,
No,
Georgia.
Yeah, right.
Georgia, Alabama, or Texas.
No,
I think anybody else is
Ole
a dark.
Miss. And they
a lot of people do not expect Texas.
I don't think nobody expects Ole Miss
win
to
like
win.
that. They're good. They're not all the way back, bro.
But Texas is the second best team.
But I'm telling you, to coach's behalf, it would be a shocker if Texas won, on the simple fact that it's their first year in the SEC.
If you want to just say that simple fact, I agree. If you're just going to say, oh, it's their first year in one of the toughest conferences in college football, then yes, I agree with that. That's a true statement. But I mean, fuck, there's fucking a lot of people picked them to win the national championship. Fuck, how can that be a dark horse? Nobody picks LSU
because they're having a transition.
Ole Miss to win the national championship.
I'm talking about SEC. I'm talking about the SEC. Wow, they won.
I know. I'm saying you can't pick a dark horse team, nigga. You can't pick a dark horse team that has national championship aspirations. That's insane,
bro. Dog. The only people that think they got real national championship considerations are like the Stephen A. Smiths, the people who ain't really played the game or coached the game like that. Everybody who played the game, coached the game knows like, nah, they not. You can't. It will be a definitely sleep if they go into the conference and win, and if they win the championship. They not like that all the way there.
I see you're not going to budge. So
that's exactly why I can't play fantasy football, because of at any level, college or NFL, because I see the game like Coach see it. You see it from a coach's point of view, from a player's point of view, what really goes on the field. And to win that fantasy, you're just looking at the numbers that come in or some crazy shit. But I feel you on that 100%, Coach.
I mean, like I said, you gotta think about it. Agree. I mean, like I said,
a lot that goes in. Hey, if they come in and win a conference, it's a lot going into that. Man.
I 100% agree with the aspect that if they win the SEC their first year in it, it's definitely whoa, they won their first year. I'm not disagreeing with that. I 100% agree. But can y'all not agree with me that it's hard to consider a team a dark horse when a large amount of people and they themselves have national championship aspirations? Like, is there not a difference between like LSU and Ole Miss? Like, nobody is picking LSU nor Ole Miss as a dark horse.
But tell me this though. So if Texas does win the SEC, right? Can we, after that, not consider SEC the little NFL?
Fuck no. You know, fuck no.
The Big 12 came and beat you at your own game.
They're the SEC, so they still won.
They're the SEC now, but they're gonna take Big 12 ball.
But I'm gonna tell you why Texas doesn't count. I'm gonna tell you why Texas doesn't count. Because Texas.
Oh my God.
Let me tell you why. Can you hear the explanation before you bring God into the subject?
Yes. My bad.
Texas is unique because, like California and like Florida, we are the cream of the fucking crop. So if your roster is loaded with 5 and 4 blue chip Texas kids, you have the advantage. So yes, I expect Texas. Texas is one of the teams that can dominate in any conference that they have the potential to dominate in any conference they go to, because they're the number 1 school in the state that produces the most NFL talent.
So the SEC,
Mike check.
Texas should be its own conference. Fuck you. Texas is its own conference.
I mean, so if you tell every other state to stay out of Texas, right? We can just say this. Let's say all the top talents just stayed home at either USC, Ohio State, your Michigans, your Floridas. Maybe we'll just say Florida State instead of your Florida. We'll pick one school, Florida State. And Texas is number one. And Florida and California, Florida State and USC is somewhere 2 and 3. I don't know. But
I mean, if you break it down from a football point of view,
I'm just talking about strictly football.
If you did that, people go to different states for different positions and different type athletes.
True.
So it's going to be all lopsided if you did that because
Texas has the most of everything.
The best QBs, but they'd have the worst lines.
Texas has the best QBs.
And Texas will have some good QBs with some slow ass quarterbacks or some crazy shit. It just wouldn't line up. Like
slow quarterbacks.
No, I'm just saying that as an example. I'm not.
I got it. We got the best quarterbacks. We got the best O linemen. We have the best running backs.
You know, Cali got the best.
I think Marley Cali do. We got to get if we looking at long. Cali do got the quarterbacks. That's one thing I will get him.
You fucking insane. Let's name the NFL quarterbacks from
Brady,
Texas. The quarterbacks from California.
Brady,
Mahomes,
Tom Brady,
Tom Brady. Mahomes.
Tom Brady.
Mahomes.
Just say Brady.
Trust me, I've had this debate with people before, and unfortunately,
Stroud, the rookie of the year.
Name your top 5 quarterbacks from California.
Man, I don't even want to think that hard. It's not even that serious to think that hard. I'm just telling you.
When we come back and do a show,
it's not just me making this shit up. Like,
all right,
that's the trend. The trend is you go to Cali for quarterbacks. That's the trend. You go to just like you
especially if they coming out of they go after them, especially if they coming out of California though. Fresh out of high school.
Man,
but as of right now, the top quarterbacks, just real quick,
NFL talent,
Aaron Rodgers.
Texas is bigger. Y'all got more high schools, more players.
California, look. California, if I'm not mistaken, is the second biggest
Mark
state.
Brunell.
Texas is the third biggest state. So California is bigger.
Look, we got
Troy Aikman.
We got LA, and we got Frisco, right?
We got Houston and we got Dallas.
Y'all got Houston, Dallas, Austin. Shit, they play ball way up in fucking Amarillo. Goddamn.
So you just proving my point. Is Texas? We play football everywhere.
All right,
y'all got more teams. Y'all got more teams, more colleges, more teams, more high schools. Y'all bigger. Everything.
Y'all are bigger. We're the third biggest state.
No, we're not.
California is the second biggest state.
He talking about land, man.
We only got 2 parts.
I want to hear that shit.
LA and Frisco.
All right. Here we go. Real quick, predictions. Who's your champ of the conference? Can we just all unanimously say UGA and get it over with and go on to the next one, which is probably
Georgia.
more.
I got Georgia.
College football playoff contenders. So real quick. And I kind of showed this by Mark.
Right? 2 get to go?
Nah. Well, so here's what I was about to say. College football playoff contenders is just, how many teams you think gonna go off the rip? What teams? Here's what I told Marley. The SEC could probably afford 4 teams. All right, and the only two-loss teams that will be able to get into the playoffs will be Alabama, Georgia, and Texas. Those are the only 3 2-loss teams who will potentially get in if they get in that scenario. But if you're 2-loss Tennessee, 2-loss Ole Miss, 2-loss any other school outside of those, they're not going to get into the playoffs. They'll probably have to be 1 loss.
Time out.
So
Texas, y'all just proved it that Texas can't get in with 2 losses because their schedule is too soft.
I don't think they'll have 2 losses.
No, I think they can get in with 2 losses.
I mean, I don't think they can do it with 2
because they got the casuals and the media behind them. That's why. Yeah, look at you. They can afford 2 losses.
You a
I'm
bad
telling you,
motherfucker, coach. You a bad motherfucker.
I'm telling you, dog.
You a bad motherfucker.
I don't agree.
you.
I think the only
They
way
gonna
can
get
get
that.
in
They
with
gonna
2
get that Big
losses
Ten
is
love.
the
If
only
they
way
get
they
2
get
losses, they
in
gonna
with
get
2
that Big
losses.
Ten love.
The
You
only
know how
way
to
they
skin
get
a
in with
cat.
2
You know how to
losses
skin a cat.
And they're
same way
marketable.
the only way they get in with 2 losses is that second loss has to be in the SEC championship. They can't have 2 losses in the regular season. That second loss has to be to the SEC.
The second loss. Yeah, exactly. There you go.
That's the
There
only
you go.
way.
It had to be. It had to be the SEC. It had to be the Georgia twice.
It had to be.
It had to be the Georgia twice.
Hey, I'm gonna just say it's gonna be 3 from the SEC, right? Because it's not the top 5. It's actually the top 4 now. So each gonna get 2. That's 8. So extra, they might be able to slide 1 more in there. And if they could, my top 3 is gonna be Georgia, Alabama, LSU in that order.
So no Texas.
No Texas. I don't believe in Sark. Sark ain't proved it to me, and Coach ain't proved it to me.
I got Georgia. I got Texas. And I think I truly think I got my dark horse. Ole Miss. I hate to leave out Alabama, but I'm going to tell you why. And I just think Deborah and Milroy are going to need a year to get the offense down. It's just too much turnover. Whereas Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin, it's keep the wheels turning, so to speak. And it's going to come down to, I think me and Big Boss got it right. It's one of our 2 teams. It's LSU or Ole Miss, and it's going to come down to the Ole Miss on the road in Alabama, in LSU. I looked at the schedule. It's not a night game as of now. So I like that it's not a night game. It might not be as rocking as it would be if it was a night game. But I think that's going to be the game that is going to boil down to whoever wins that game gets that 3rd slot and possibly a chance to go to the playoff, because I think a 1 loss, they might miss the SEC championship. So they might just end up with only 1 loss. Therefore, they'll get one of the 12 playoff spots. It's kind of what I'm thinking. So yeah, I got Georgia, Texas, and Ole Miss.
Damn, bro.
I play out my college football playoff contenders. Coach,
Okay.
are you there, or did you?
Until Coach come back, my only disagreement there that I see is that when I'm not a true believer in you having to develop when you move conferences, because we seen it with BYU last year in the Big 12, that when you take your style of playing and you take it somewhere else, some teams don't got enough tape. It takes a while for them to adjust to you, and you may benefit from that. So yeah, I couldn't really go all the way with that one though. But yeah.
Hey, I won't disagree. We talked about it earlier. Deborah, I mean, I'm a believer. I think he's the right guy. I'll tell you what I'm not sure of. I'm not 100% sure. I think receivers are the weak point as of right now, because they're no experience at wide receiver right now, and they have to learn a new system. So kind of scares me just a little bit. Whereas everybody else, as far as contenders go, they don't have to learn a new system, don't have to learn new verbiage, and we're going to see if Milroy can actually throw the ball. We know he's a phenomenal athlete. He can run it. Like he said, his numbers say he can throw the ball, but different scheme. I don't know how complicated the board system is, but maybe it's not so complicated, because like we said earlier, everywhere he goes, he wins. He's known as an NFL whisperer, so it won't surprise me,
like I said, I give the nod to Texas strictly off the point that they beat Alabama in Alabama, and they don't have any turnover versus Alabama has turnover. So, remains to be seen. But I definitely won't be surprised if Alabama makes it to the.
I think they could be that 14 to get in there. I think they can definitely be the 14.
I don't think they get 4, but it depends on how the season.
I think the SEC can get 4. I think they get 4.
I think SEC
who I got in there?
Get 2 to 3 a piece.
Who I got in there? Just off rip, UGA, Texas, and I really, really think Mizzou can be that other team with a one-loss Mizzou. This is what their schedule is looking like. For a hungry team, this is what their schedule look like. Home, Missouri State. Home, Buffalo. Home, Boston College. Home, Vanderbilt. On the road against A&M with the new coaching staff and a lot of players that have left the program. On the road against UMass, the worst team in the country. Home against Auburn, but now they go on the road against Alabama at a 4:30 game. That could be their loss. Home against Oklahoma. On the road against South Carolina. On the road against Mississippi State. Home against Arkansas. Definitely can run the tables and look at one loss and sneak up in there. Especially starting the season off right now. They're starting the season off as the number 8 team in the country as of right now.
I agree.
Is that right? Yeah. No, that ain't right. Hold on. I just want to make sure I got their ranking correct right now. But anywho, those are my 3, man. Let me see. Doesn't have the rankings right now. Mic check. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Loud and clear, sir.
All right. So those are our playoff contenders because it's frozen on my end, and we've reached the hour 45-minute mark. Man, open mic segment, man. We've just pretty much covered. We appreciate everybody tuning in. I'm the coach. That's Marley Bets, and we're joined by Big Boss from Bangin Sports Network. Marley, it's froze up on my end. Can you hit the open mic if it's not open?
Oh yeah. Open mic segment. I hear you, but I can't see you froze. But yeah, open mic segment. So anything in the SEC that, or just anything in the sports world. Period.
I got something for both of y'all.
Go ahead. What's up, boss? What's up? Talk to me.
So, what do y'all feel about KJ Jefferson transferring to UCF to Gus Malzahn? Gus Malzahn said in practice, KJ Jefferson reminds him of Cam Newton.
I'll say Gus Malzahn is doing what a head coach is supposed to do, right?
In that respect,
definitely want to big up your quarterback. Definitely was a fan of KJ Jefferson at Arkansas. Kind of tailed off the last 2 years. I don't know if that's KJ Jefferson maybe not being as good as we thought early, or not having the supporting cast that he had early. That remains to be seen. As far as them going at USF, it's definitely an improvement based off what they had. How much do I believe in Gus Malzahn? I'm not sure. KJ Jefferson, he has to stay healthy. He's a big guy, tough kid. Like I said, definitely was a fan at Arkansas. I wonder what went wrong, because I didn't look into that situation. Why is he transferring? He's
probably a super senior right now.
Yeah, but that would, obviously they must have went in a different direction in Arkansas for him to transfer, I'm going to assume.
Yeah, I just looked it up right here. In black and white, he says physically he's the closest thing to Cam Newton that he's ever had. But
I can see that.
He also did say that he said at UCF they want to chuck the ball deep, and when they can't, they want the quarterback to take off and use his feet. And that's the exact skill set he had.
He's just not the athlete Cam Newton was special. I don't think he gets the flowers he deserves.
Okay, one more thing to that, right? So there's a difference right here. KJ Jefferson in the SEC as a mobile running quarterback.
Uh-huh.
And he's not very mobile. He's just big and kind of tries to pull people, which gets shut down in the SEC.
Right.
It doesn't pan out. But
you don't have the speed to get away.
Exactly. But you take that same strength and you move it over there to the Big 12. Now he might run that dude, or he might run over a backer. You know what I'm saying? He might be better with his feet over there and more elusive than he was in the SEC. And we already know about his arm. I think it might be able to work, but
no,
I haven't done that.
I can agree with you on that. You're right. He's not gonna face the size and speed that's in the SEC, especially with Texas and Oklahoma leaving. Now you do get Utah coming in, which we'll talk when we talk about the Big 12, we'll discuss that. But I love Utah. I loved them when they were in the Pac-12. I love the coach. I can't think of his name right now because I'm a little drunk. But he's been there for forever, and I love his style. It's just like physical, old school football. Like we're gonna just punch you in the fucking mouth. I might not have the 5-star recruits, but I got a bunch of 3 and 4 that I've coached up and that's been with me, and we're just gonna punch you in the mouth. And now that I got a quarterback in Cam Rising who's returning, we're gonna be a pretty good goddamn football team. So but we'll talk about that when we talk about the Big 12. Anyway, so yeah, I completely agree with you. That might be something to look at when we start betting. I'm definitely going to keep my eye now that you say that, because he's not going to play against the defenses in the fronts that he's played against, and whereas he couldn't turn that corner in the SEC. Like you said, there's a couple of linebackers and defensive linemen that he might not. It doesn't even matter if he can turn the corner. He might could just run them over, and for some aspects, he's going to turn that corner. So yeah, I agree with you 100% on that one, DJ.
And he said that Gus Malzahn said he recruited him in high school, but Bo Nix was around the same age at the time. But yeah,
that was a slow down on the Cam Newton compare. I understand.
No, I feel what you're saying. I get it.
I understand him doing it, but yeah,
he got to glaze that donut good.
Yeah. We can't.
No, but that was a real interesting transfer right there, though, man.
Disrespect Cam like that, though. We're not gonna do that. Cam was a fucking. I mean, I don't know if he's the Hall of Famer. Is he Hall of Famer?
I don't know. Cam's his decline was so steep. I don't know.
It was decline was definitely steep. But I mean, as the running quarterback that he was,
but it didn't last a long time. It wasn't
because of the style. I mean, he wasn't a Mike Vick, right? He wasn't gonna. He tried to run over more people than go by them. I mean, you gotta understand the guy was fucking huge. I mean, he did the Superman shit for a reason.
I blame that shit on the NFL, man. All these, I say this all the time, man. You take a kid, especially out of Texas, right? Because who is it? What's old boy used to play for the Titans out of Texas? The one that won the Heisman Trophy and shit. But
it's about VY Vince Young. No, Vince Young didn't win the Heisman.
No, the one that beat USC in Texas.
Vince Young was the quarterback that beat
Vince Young. You're right. It is Vince Young. Vince Young had been.
But he lost the Heisman to Reggie that year.
He had been a quarterback since he was like 9 years old.
Right. I mean, he's from Houston. We watched him grow. I watched him from high school.
The whole shit. Then he get all the way. He get all the way to the NFL. He shows his skills the first 1 or 2 years. and then they pull him in the back and say, "Hey, man, we got too much money on your head. You can't be doing that. You gotta learn how to pass the ball sometimes.
Well, fucking
You
Jeff
gotta learn how to
Fisher
run
kind
about.
of
You gotta learn how to slide."
fucked Vince Young, in all fairness to him.
That's what fucks all the black running quarterbacks. You can't tell a kid that's been taking off and running all his life that now you got to throw the ball because we got too much money invested in you. We can't have you injured.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? He was a natural. He can.
You got to do what got you there. You got to do what got you there. No, he's not going to play for your franchise for 20 years, but you got him for 10.
No, they
got him for 10. You got to maximize that shit.
If we let him keep going that way, then we'll only have him for 2. He'll be injured most of the time. We'll still have to pay him. No, bring him in the office and let him know he's going to have to try to do something different. And that really shook Cam. That shook Cam. You know who they did it to this year? Your boy over there at the Eagles. Hey, calm down. Calm down. Don't be doing all that. We need you for the long run. And what happens? You don't win games that you could have won because the quarterback is no longer a run-pass threat, and he's mobilized, and they get the best of you. But that's just my opinion.
No, I can't disagree to an extent. You know, I honestly can't. But
I see coaches out for the night, man. We almost 2 hours this time, but it's always a pleasure talking to y'all, man.
Open mic is the last segment, so that's cool, man. That is your SEC breakdown, conference breakdown with all the shits and giggles, man. We back. It's been a minute since we've been in. You know, we pretty much took baseball season off. You know what I mean? I'm kind of like the only one that really bets baseball. And honestly, like my kids, we got track, we got fucking 7-on-7, and shit just doesn't stop. We had football camp today, and the season starts next week. So as far as practice goes, so I'm trying to three-peat. My kids are trying to three-peat, and yeah.
But you're looking good with your camera on thing, though.
Yeah. You know, I was like, fuck it. You know, I'm gonna do it. You know, if they can do it, goddamn it, I can do it. And I fuck with that. It is what it is. All right, that's some real shit. That's how we need to be. Instead of trying to be all for the cameras and politically correct and all that shit. Fuck that shit. You know what I mean? I can be me. I don't gotta not be who the fuck I am. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. So appreciate you joining the show, my brother. Hopefully, this is one of many throughout this college football season. You know what I'm saying? If you want to tell the people where to find you, where to find the channel, for the people that's going to listen to this in the next following weeks to come, go ahead, give all that info for them, Big Boss.
Hey, if you don't know, now you know. Who Bangin Sports Talk. You see it right there. Look us up on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all of that good stuff. And I'm DJ Big Boss, man. You'll be seeing more of me around here with Brothas N Bets. You can catch me all over in other places, you know, saying what I say and doing my do and popping my shit. So holla back, DJ Big Boss. Give us a follow, give us a like, a subscribe. Hey, and if you want to mess with the team Who Bangin, become a member, man, and come hang out with us. We have a good times, man. But right here at Brothas N Bets, it's family, bro. It's all love from Cali to Houston, and we have a good time, bro.
Facts. And when I was out in Cali, the homie Big Boss came, picked your boy up, took me to the spot, showed me how he go down to Cali. All fucking love.
You already, and I'm coming to Houston later on in 2025, so I'll be hitting y'all up when I come out there to Houston.
You already know what it is. We gonna link up. I'm gonna return that favor, and we gonna do it.
For sure.
I'm with it. I go down out here.
100%.
You know what it is. All right, man. Appreciate everybody that's tuning in. Appreciate everybody that's going to tune in after the live session that's going to record it. This is Brothas N Bets. We are officially back. Football season starts coming up soon. Next Wednesday, we will break down, I believe it is the Big 12 with Moose. Oh, no. ACC with Moose. Excuse me. ACC with Moose Money Bets. Be on the lookout for that. We're going to break down each of the Power Four conferences as we traditionally do. We skipped last year. And other than that, man, we're going to make a lot of money. Like the homie said, follow it. He this way right here. DJ Big Boss at Who Bangin. Go follow the channel. Even better, go subscribe. And even better than that, go become a member. This right here is Brothas N Bets. And I am Marley Bets. And we will fucking dominate college football season this year. God damn it. RIP to the motherfucking homie Tease. Love that guy. Just it's rare you meet good fucking people, and Tease was a good fucking guy. R.I.P. Tease. I hope you watching down on us. Cheers, my brother.
All the time, man. Rest in peace, Tease.
Y'all already know what it is. Let's beat Vegas.
There it is.
And we out this motherfucker.
Check it out. Look, we from the bottom, ain't no problems, we gon' make a way. Got no coach on the field, but we making plays. Hey, look, don't worry, we gon' be okay.